What is up, truth tellers? We are back for another day, baby. Now, really quick, okay, guys, if you are a part of the Truth Talks family, I'm going to need you to hit that subscribe button on Truth Talks Live. Okay, we are doing our best to grow, and we've been shadow banned, so we need your help. Hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe so you know what we got going on, okay? You want to see what's giving, because I'm your girl, Sarah Fontenot from the It's Giving podcast, and I see my haters out there, okay? I see y'all in the comments. It's okay. I still love you because I'm going to tell my truth. That's all we can do is live in our truth, okay? So let's get into it tonight. This is my question for y'all. Why is it that as soon as a Black woman hits a certain age, folks start looking at her sideways if she's not married yet? Like her worth has expired or something. Like peace, purpose, and power don't mean anything. If she doesn't have a ring on her finger, they act like it's some kind of punishment and not a choice. So let's call it what it is. Singleness is being weaponized in the Black community. And tonight we are here for it, okay? Get them gloves on because we about to battle, baby. If you're watching us on Roland Martin Unfiltered, I need you guys to hop over to this channel, Truth Talks Live. Hit that subscribe button so that you can make sure to join us every single time. And right now, Truth Talks starts.
Are y'all ready to roll? Let's go.
Sarah, I love you so much. That was so good, except that you flubbed to the name of the damn show. What are we doing right now?
I know. You know, one thing at a time. One thing at a time.
But it's giving light, it's giving energy, it's giving breath, it's giving femininity, it's giving sunshine, and that was fantastic.
I needed that, Torre. That was the virtual hug that I needed today. It feels so good when you speak so nicely to me. I just flourish like a flower.
Oh, you're so sweet. Dr. B will never know how that feels.
Wow.
Wow.
Sarah,
I'm just kidding.
You can fumble over 10 words. Anybody but Torre doing the intro of the show is better than
let me say, real talk. I love that. I love that top. You look fantastic.
Leave me alone. You said I look like a light bulb. I swallowed a light bulb. I don't care. I'm just happy we didn't have to hear Torre at the beginning of the episode. So thank you, Sarah. Thank you.
You do.
God.
It's light, bright, and
we got a
almost
white
white.
in with a do-rag on. We got a white in with a do-rag on.
Not the do-rag.
We're going to talk about somebody else having white perspective. She looks white. Are you really, is there any melanin in that frame at all?
Man, help me, please.
Guys, I'm about to go. I can't take it. It's too much.
So combative. Y'all fight a lot. Hi, guys. My name is Dimitri. It's a pleasure to be in the middle of this fight. Honored to be here. Truth Talk starts now.
Now.
Let's get into trending truths. What happened to the $6 billion futuristic paradise that Akon swore would become the Wakanda of the West? Years later, Akon City still hasn't broken ground, and the dream has turned into dust, doubt, and disappointment. Take a look.
Touted as a high-tech utopia powered by renewable energy and bankrolled by its own cryptocurrency, Akon City was ambitious as it was daring. Designed with curvy skyscrapers and sleek modern infrastructure, early renderings of Akon City drew comparisons to Marvel's fictional African metropolis, Wakanda. It was supposed to come at a cost of $6 billion. Nearly 7 years on, much of the 800-acre piece of land allocated for the project remains an empty grassland, save for a single unfinished reception building. Now Senegal is repossessing the land to build something realistic, the BBC reported, citing the country's tourism authorities. Senegal's leaders had hoped that the project would help transform the country where Akon, born Alioune Badara Thiam, spent a part of his childhood. The singer has struggled to get funding for the project, while legal challenges have also taken their toll.
Fun fact, my mother was reading about the president of Senegal, Sékou Touré, when she was pregnant. And she was like, oh, I found the name for the baby. But Akon built this whole thing on this crypto coin, that Akon, that he thought would rise in value and thus fund a lot of this and bring other investors in. That didn't happen. His crypto coin crashed and he was left without funding. And the whole financial model was based on that. So he kind of dropped the beat and the bag on this one and hurt Senegal in the process. And I wonder, Dimitri, do you think he was ever even equipped to pull this off? Being a developer is a specific and complicated job. It's not like just anybody can roll up and say, give me some money, I'm going to buy some buildings. And that's what Akon seemed to try to do.
I think we put too much in the hands of these celebrities, man. Y'all ever heard the Akon song, Locked Up? Lock his ass up. That's exactly what needs to happen. Akon need to be locked the fuck up. And the thing about it is, I don't believe this is something like Akon did with like malicious intent, but Akon knew he was unequipped for this project to begin with. If you banked it all on something that hadn't grown into fruition yet, you knew your ability to be unaccountable for this shit was present. And just for his inability to actually come back and give a statement, and now that it's been 7 years and we want to know where the money at, hey, lock his ass up, man. Get Akon up out of here. Get him.
Casper, how does a $6 billion project disappear without a single building built?
I think that he had good intentions. I just think that he wasn't able to pull off the funding, just like I haven't been able to pull off the lighting from my melanin, okay? But I do think that Akon had the right intent. I think he went in there and found out, like a lot of developers and contractors find out, that there's more to it. Once you start to create plans and develop even a home, let alone a big city at the magnitude that he was attempting to do it, I think he ran out of funds. And I think that he ran out of resources to really actualize his ideology. But it was a great idea, and I really hope that he can at some point pick it back up and actualize it.
Sarah, the locals in Senegal are demanding answers, as they should. Investors are vanishing. Critics are calling it a crypto colonialism wrapped in Pan-African fantasy. Those are always fun. Let's take a look at what Akon had to say.
But now, okay, so talk to me. So just to be very clear, Akon City is under attack. The concept of what this dream means to Africa is so big that it's shaking up a lot of agendas in Africa. So anyone that's in construction or anyone that just use basic common sense knows that it takes 12 months to maybe 15 months to build a normal house.
Right.
We're talking about building a city with high-end high-rises, major structures. I mean, it's just the studies alone took 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at my face.
You know what I mean?
They got Alligator Alcatraz together in 8 days.
Whoa.
How long to build a house?
Whoa.
I'm just saying. You should have called them. They could have came in and swooped this shit up.
Sarah, save me from Dimitri. Look, I see that Akon has ambition and vision. I want to assume the best of intentions, but like, there's a lot of money tied up here, and the country of Senegal is like, we're not supporting you. We're not helping you with this anymore. This is a mess.
Yeah, I'm just really struggling by like not a single building, like $6 billion, and you haven't broken ground. Like you haven't even dug into the ground to start building. I'm an investing woman. And before you invest in anything, this doesn't make any sense to me. I hope that he gets it together, but they already took the land back. They're saying something a little more realistic. And I think that they may have just allowed his name and his clout to cloud their judgment and allow him to create this thing that he really wanted, but it's just too hard to actualize. This sucks. I don't like this. The math is not mathing. I don't know what that says, Dimitri.
Yeah, you see how many zeros in a billion?
$6 billion.
And you ain't got nothing, not a TP, not a hut, not a snow castle, nothing.
You did all
My
that.
question would be, how much funding did he have to begin with? Did he have, because I don't know this part, I'm asking if y'all know, enlighten me. Did he come in with any type of investment seed? Was there at least like a couple billion that was available, or maybe 500 million that he said, we got some investment seeds to start with?
They built nothing. So figure it out. I mean, look, I think that as we said, the crypto thing was supposed to be the driver for creating funds and pulling in more investors. And when his coin didn't go up, but instead crashed, it kind of destroyed the whole rest of the project.
Well, maybe I can borrow some melanin from Akon with his old nice chocolate skin having self. I can sure use some of that melanin.
The thing about it is,
I mean, you could just get a little from Akon, then we'd be able to see you. I can't see you. You're kind of like blurring into the yellow there.
Y'all are killing me.
Where does she start? And I can't tell.
Sarah, this is called colorism at its finest.
Sarah, we're not discriminating against you because you're light. We're just making fun of you because you're light.
Oh my gosh, Dimitri.
The thing about it is, though, guys, I think we're missing the point. Akon is a very, very established celebrity. He's been investing for as long as I've been alive. Akon been doing this for a very long time. You knew getting online, making them false profits about this goddamn coin was going to eventually lead to something like this. But now you own a radio station in the United States talking about how you under attack. Go over there to Africa and tell them people how you under attack and watch how they attack your ass. It's just that simple.
So I can honestly say, being a woman that has purchased coins that have tanked, like I'm talking about Dogecoin tanked. I'm not even gonna lie, y'all. Trump's wife's Melania Trump's coin.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You bought Melania?
Of course I did.
Oh my God. Oh goodness. What are you doing? How much money you spend on Melania?
We don't need to talk about it, okay? I'm not gonna bring up wounds right now on this.
I want to bring up wounds. How much?
No, Torre. This is what I know. Listen to me, okay? Sometimes you have
to get Africa funded, goddammit.
You have hope. You have hope for these coins, and when they tank, it's like, dang, how?
Well,
people have lost them.
What are you talking about? How? How could it not die?
I know. It made sense at the time. Trump's coin, you couldn't even get it. He threw it to her, and it was like,
oh my God.
But you don't promise an entire culture, not even culture, but Pan-Africanism is everybody who's rooted from Africa. You promised everybody this on something that you weren't for certain about. You know better than this, Akon. Where's the group chat you text asking, was this a good idea? Somebody tell me something.
Do you think that he should return whatever money is left over and face legal consequences? Where do we go from here?
Oh, that's the thing about investments. It's a risk, right? I guess in this case, Wakanda is not forever. And that's a really sad take to do. But the way that investments work is you invest, you could possibly lose your money. It is.
Yeah, but that's not exactly, if it's a fraudulent investment, if the vehicle is fraudulent, then you would be able to claw that money back.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I think Akon needs to throw some free concerts. He needs to give out some free merch. I need $1 billion. I need $6 billion.
Hey, Dimitri, beside Locked Up, can you name an Akon song that you would like to hear?
It ain't about me. It's about Africa.
Thought so. Who's coming to the concert?
It's about Africa.
You've got one hit for 20 years. What are we talking about?
No, he has so many hits.
Like what, Sarah? Name them.
Hang on.
We're fucked.
No.
Google, but I'm not going to Google, okay?
If there was a hit, you would know it. It would be an earworm in your head.
I'm a square.
He got smacked that. Somebody need to smack him.
Fall on the floor, smack that.
There you go.
20 years old. 20 years old. That song is as old as you, Sarah.
And the best one he had was the one that said, Akon and Young Jeezy. That is my hit. I don't know that one. That's the main one.
He needs to do all that $6 billion worth of time. That's what I need to hear.
He's got hit.
Oh, she done pulled up this Google. I'm so done with you, Google. I'm over with her in this damn Google. What's up, True Fam? It's your girl, Cheyenne. And yes, season 2 of True Talks is here. And we are turning up even higher.
Yo, it's your man, Torre, the newest co-host on the set. And I'm bringing heart, heat, and hard truth every night.
And we are keeping it all the way fire. Ain't no filters, ain't no fluff, just straight facts. Y'all know how we do.
So stop scrolling and pull up to our YouTube at TruthTalks-Live. Like, subscribe, and smash that bell.
And after you do that, join us because we go live weeknights at 8 p.m. Eastern on all the coasts. Wherever you are, from culture to controversy, we say what everyone else is scared to say.
We talk truth. Season 2 of Truth Talks. Let's go. Because this time, we ain't asking. We're taking the mic. All right, let's move on to politicking. A lot going on. The federal prosecutor, Maureen Comey, daughter of former FBI Director Jim Comey, was fired by the Department of Justice last week. It was not made precisely clear why she'd been at the department for over a decade. Take a look at this video.
And Garrett, we also have some news coming down in just the last few minutes. The Justice Department firing Maureen Comey, a prosecutor who worked on Epstein's case as well. She's also the daughter of ex-FBI Director James Comey. What can you tell us about that? What are your sources saying? Is there any sort of connection to that firing with this?
It's not clear yet if there is any connection, Ellison. And the other famous case that she worked on is, of course, the Sean Diddy Combs case, which just concluded with the rap mogul being cleared on some of the more serious charges against him, although convicted on some lesser charges. Whether this firing has anything to do with the government's failure to secure a bigger conviction in that case or has anything to do with the Epstein case is unclear at this hour. But you can bet that for conspiracy theorists looking at the Epstein cases, the removal of someone with the last name Comey, who worked on those prosecutions, will only fire up the talks that there is something more nefarious going on here.
As Garrett said, Maureen Comey was the lead federal prosecutor in the Diddy case. She was once seen as a rising star in the DOJ. But was this shakeup about the Diddy trial? Let me stop you. The answer is no. This is about getting back at Jim Comey. She's not being fired because of what happened in the Diddy trial. That was a disaster for the department, but I think there's many fathers and mothers to that disaster for the SDNY. But Trump has been attacking the legal profession, prosecutors, the SDNY in particular, and he's been trying to get back at Jim Comey and any of his. This is part of the way that he deals with his perceived enemies. He's super petty, and firing Comey's daughter would be the perfect way to get back at Jim. I think that's what's really going on here, Dimitri.
Does that make you a conspiracy theorist the way you just said it? You said it so confidently, like you convinced me.
That's what happened.
That's what happened?
Conspiracy, that's what happened.
All right then. Well, in my opinion, I think a lot of times we forget that, the system forgets that justice is like, it's not just about the outcome. It's about public confidence. Like when you start doing big things and you can't explain it to us, we get a little questionable on your legitimacy. And I think for somebody, Ms. Comey, for example, to be removed with such high praise and high validation of all she's done and her father's done, just with no regard, with no explanation, with nothing to give to the public, this is going to create more of an uproar than I think they perceive it to. Trying to sweep it under the rug. It's too big to go under the rug.
This is something that came up the other day, about a month or so ago. Jim Comey was walking down the beach. That's Jim Comey, Maureen Comey's father. And he saw seashells arranged by somebody else that said 8647. He took a photograph of that and put it on his Instagram. Sarah, 86 in the restaurant world would mean to end something, right? Like we have no more of something. So the right tried to take it like this 8647 meant kill Trump. I would read it as a former person who worked in restaurants that it means end Trump, not kill Trump. But that was part of what people were saying. Oh, look, Jim Comey is continuing to attack the president, putting out this weirdo message that maybe seems like he's sending a message to kill Trump from the former FBI. So that to me is much more part of what happened to Maureen Comey, Sarah, than the Diddy trial.
Yeah, I hear you. I look, I have no comment. I couldn't even answer. I am not invested enough in this drama to even have a dog in this fight. I do not know the answer. What I do know is when you're 86 something, you get rid of it. That's what I would say according to what you just asked me. But I do think that his daughter being fired, absolutely Diddy being getting off the way that he did has something to do with it. I do think that. But what do you think, Dr. Bryant?
I think the part that's more scarier is that this president is so smart and dumb at the same time that Article 2 of the U.S. Constitution actually grants Trump the right to remove certain federal employees without even reasonable cause. He can just do that. I think that's the point of looking at how he has set up things, and he is literally using the Constitution and recreating it so that it works for him and his crew per se, when they enter into spaces of needing to check and balance and remove things and people that can work for him. That part is beyond me because Maureen made a comment and she said, if a prosecutor can be fired with no reasonable doubt, she said, then that would make people feel like, wait a minute, how valid is prosecution? And it's like, Trump, you are internally not only helping yourself if that's what you think you're doing, you are really messing up the trust and the validity of the people that we have put in position to do the jobs that they're supposed to do to bring justice. So I just think, to me, it's like I get the bigger picture of Diddy and Trump trying to get this woman off out of a position where she can expose him. Nah, it's Trump saying, I got power. You did something I don't like. There's Article 2 in the Constitution I'm going to use. I'm going to run these plays and show y'all how I keep setting up shop in front of your face. Listen, fuck around and find out. Trump keeps showing us. Fuck around and find out. I'm going to use all these things that y'all created and that I created to work for me and against y'all.
You just worry about where the country is going when people are being penalized this way for their father, when the leader is this petty and vindictive. It just creates a really disgusting community of the entire country.
What up, Truth Fam? It's your man, Torre. And I know you've been wondering where you've been. I ain't gone nowhere. I leveled up. Slide over to our brand new YouTube channel at TruthTalks-Live. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell like it owes you something. Because we come in live every weeknight at 8 p.m. and it's about to get really real. Yeah, the truth still hurts, but that's exactly why you need it. Season 2 is bigger, bolder, and blacker than ever. Unfiltered convos, expert takes, and uplifting moments. We're calling it out, breaking it down, and lifting up the culture in real time. We're not holding back, and we're not sugarcoating nothing, and we're not going to let anybody rewrite our narratives. So tune in, pull up, and get ready to speak truth. Live with Truth Talk Season 2. For the people, for the culture, every damn night at 8 p.m.
Let's move on to our main topic, weaponizing singleness. We got 3 relationship experts on this show. We're going to break down the dreaded topic of singleness and how it's being weaponized against our sisters, how this narrative impacts identity, self-worth, and relationships. Social media, the church, and even our families push a notion that a woman who's not married or at least partnered is somehow lacking. Take a look at what Kirk Franklin had to say.
In Western Christianity, there are 3 areas that I've seen weaponization very strongly. I believe that marriage has been weaponized in Western Christianity. Giving has been weaponized in Western Christianity. Sexuality has been weaponized. It's very much that you living in sin, you need to get married. Without realizing that marriage doesn't fix sin.
Damn, that was a nice bookshelf. Sarah, is singleness for Black women viewed as a relationship failure, or can we see it as an independent choice?
You know, I think for a lot of Black women, it is a failure because I feel like Black women these days have told themselves and caped themselves with this story that says, I don't need a man, when really what the truth of it is they're terrified of the rejection. They're tired of trying. They don't want to follow leadership. They don't want to be the submissive woman inside of a relationship. And so in that sense, yes. And a lot of the times those women will be told that they're seen as masculine or angry or combative and that they are the man in the relationship. But I do also think that there is a sweet spot of women that have made the conscious and powerful and empowered choice to choose to be single. Both of these things are true. 2 things can be true at once. And so inside of that, absolutely, I do think that it's being weaponized. Absolutely, I do think that it can be viewed as a failure. And in a lot of cases, it is, because I don't think we know a woman's role anymore in a lot of different spaces. Eat me up in the comments. That's fine. And then in a lot of cases, I do think that it's a choice.
Doc, do you think that it is possible for sisters to have it all, the way we talk about great career, satisfying career, not necessarily make a ton of money, but it's satisfying to you, and also a home life, a family life, whatever that structure is, that is satisfying to you, right? For a lot of people, it's hard to balance those 2 things. Is it possible to have it all?
Absolutely. It's what I call the hybrid effect. I always talk about it. I talk about a hybrid is alpha submissive, right? Alpha in the boardroom and closing your deals and showing up to the meetings and making sure that you're doing that stuff externally. And then when you come home, you're in your submissive, which is, hey, daddy, I'm home. Love you. What do you need? Have you ate? Or, you know, if he cooked, thank you so much for cooking for me. I missed you. How was your day? You go into all those submissive roles. I think that with women embody all of their moving parts, they start to fall in love love with who they are. And self-discovery is about identifying who are you in the boardroom, who are you in the bedroom, and how do both of those coexist? And when you find both coexisting, that's what balance is called. And I also believe that on the flip side, from at least the men that I have been engaged to or dated, they find it a big turn on that they get to watch me keynote speak on these big stages. They get to watch me go dominate a boardroom and kill the shit out of it, right? And then come home and be completely soft and feminine and submissive to them. And they also tend to respect that I have a voice where if something is not going in a way that's honoring or respectful, I know how to say, hold on now, who the fuck you talking to? Without me having to do it from a masculine perspective. It's just still in a way that says, wait a minute, baby, we may be out of alignment right now. And a man who is secure with himself and has a good balancing within him, he appreciates a woman that has both. He doesn't need a woman who's so yoked and imbalanced.
Why do you need to be submissive at home?
Yeah, I love that, Trey. Actually, I finally love something you asked. It's not that you have to be submissive. And I want to clear that up. No, because I'm happy you said that, because there are a group of women who I've had women run up to me after I get off the stage and say what you say, like, Doc, I'm triggered. I love everything you said, but damn it, I don't think I need to be submissive. Why? And I explained to them, you're right. Submissive for me is a love language. And so the way that I love is submitting to you. The way that I love is letting you have your way with me. The way that I love is saying, what do you need? And how can I show up for you? And well, how do I facilitate that? That's how I love. And so if I can't love like that, then I feel like I'm at a deficit. But for other women who maybe don't like the essence of submission, I think they should find a man who is equally yoked to that. If I had a partner that I could not submit to because that's something that didn't work for him, I could not thrive in that relationship. I love to be in my submissive and my feminine with my man. It does everything you can think of for me.
I'm gonna have to give her that, Tori. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's a lot of men out here, and myself included. I love to see a woman in her powerful. I love to see her dominate and take over whatever lane she needs to. Just be that boss CEO wherever she chooses to. But it's something about watching that exact woman value you enough to turn it off. Value you enough just to step back into that femininity when she's around you. It does something for your, Tori, I can't explain it to you, but it does something for your soul. It's like, imagine how.
Okay, but hold on. It's easy for you and I to say, it's great when the sisters submit to us. What about the sister who wants to come home and is strong and is the leader in the relationship? Are you able and emotionally willing to be in that position where you're more submissive to her?
See, me personally,
submissive is still strong. I want women to know that submissive is still strong. Actually, go ahead.
There's a level of submission from a man that's even more attractive than seeing him in his masculine. To see a man that's good with children, Torre, you ever seen that? You ever, hey, listen, it's something about a man who can carry that baby and put that baby to sleep for. It's levels to it. I think a very well balanced. I'm sorry?
That's not submission. That's not what we're talking about. I'm talking about the energy dynamic, who's leading the relationship, who is shaping the relationship, who is in charge in the relationship. Both parties can be working and do the errands that we need to do. But I mean, like, she comes home and now she's dominating you, right? And like that supposed masculine energy. Are you comfortable with that dynamic?
See, the thing about it is, I think this is the misconception between you and me. In terms of submission, there doesn't, and this is just me, there doesn't have to be someone who's dominant. There's just a level of respect she gives you that triggers her femininity. That's me personally. I think submission is when my woman's tired and I say, baby, don't worry about it. I'm going to go put the baby back to sleep. I'm going to feed the baby that. That's me submitting to her needs as a woman. And so the dynamic in which you're looking at it is a little different than me personally.
So I just want to chime in because I want to make sure that we stay on topic here about weaponizing singleness, right? And so first and foremost, you guys are talking about masculinity and femininity. It's not about male or female roles. Like, we're not talking about gender roles, because everybody should be able to put a baby to sleep and everybody should also be able to be decisive. But when we bring it back to weaponizing singleness, what people will do is, just because you don't have a partner, they assume there's something wrong with you. Just because you're not married or engaged or in an exclusive exclusive committed relationship, now you're the problem, you're the drama, you're too combative, you're the issue. You don't know how to shut your mouth. You don't know how to submit to a man. You don't know how to be in your feminine. And that's what people are doing. And now not only are people weaponizing singleness, but they're also taking advantage of it, where now a woman is saying, well, I want to be who they think I'm supposed to be, because what do we hear growing up? We're supposed to be married and start a family, get married and start a family. And because we're supposed to be married by the time we're 25 or 30 or max 35, we're officially geriatric at 35, and they wrong you and they wrong you and they shame you and you shame you and they guilt you and they guilt you, because that's what's happening. Women start to say, you know what? I'll take any man instead of an aligned man. I'll take any man that can hold me at night instead of a man that actually is in alignment with the core values of what we see for marriage. And so now a lot of people are in unequally yoked relationships and marriages, which is why I always say what this epidemic is doing, where they're weaponizing singleness, is making it so a lot of people are getting married, but they're not necessarily experiencing what it means to be husband and wife in an aligned way.
What does weaponizing singleness mean?
Here's an example. Me and Dr. B, right? We are above 35. I could easily look at Dr. Cheyenne Bryant and say, oh, girl, you've never been married. You can say you've been engaged twice, right? Because this is what people will say on the internet. I'm sure. You've been engaged twice. You've never been married. You don't have any kids. There's something wrong with you. So now it's not that there's something wrong with her. She's probably made the choices to make the choices that she's made. But what the general consensus for people that aren't taking the time to understand her viewpoints or her story or where she's coming from, they're going to look at her and say something is wrong with you because you're single. Something is wrong with you because a man hasn't chosen you. Something is wrong with you because you haven't given birth. And they have all of these ways, because we live in a society that almost values a married woman or a married mother more than a single woman. Because our entire job on this earth is to essentially get married and start a family.
And this is entirely different. This is different, you're saying, than whatever pressure exists on men to get married.
Men's pressure isn't to get married. Men's pressure is to make money. Women's pressure is to get married and start a family. And we are supposed to come together and create the family. But now people aren't looking at the truth of what they actually desire. They're not actually taking the time to see, well, hey, what do I actually like? What do I actually need in my partner? What is actually important to me? It's more than just hobbies. There's a lot of people that have chemistry. Chemistry is so easy, but compatibility is way more challenging. And so you have to get really clear with you. What is it that you want from your person? I personally don't think that in your early 20s, go date, learn what you like, learn what you don't like. In your late 20s, 30s, this is where you should start seeking what it is that you desire. And then hopefully you find your person. But if you don't, just because you're not with a person doesn't mean you lack anything. Just because you haven't chosen a partner doesn't mean you're not good enough for one. It means it just may not be your season. And hell, it may never be your season. But are you okay with that? Or is it circumstantial and then you choose to get hard instead of actually going after what you desire?
Dimitri.
I saw this in a whole different light. I saw the conversation in a whole different regard. You're speaking on people who weaponize the idea that you're single against you. Yes. I know a lot of people in my generation who weaponize the idea of staying single. These people don't want a relationship. It's easier for me to run around with that man, and that man because I have that option. I have that choice. I can get everything I need from everybody. So I choose to stay single and fight a relationship off. And that's fucking it up for a lot of women who want to be with one man. So I saw it weaponized from a different angle. And I'm glad you put that point in there. But it's a little different for me. It's a little different from the way I'm looking at it. I know women who've thrown away the relationship to go be single for the fun of it. That's kind of how I saw it. And it happens.
Doc, do we truly value being in relationships, or do people more fear being alone?
I think a mix of both. I think there are a group of people who value being in a relationship. They value partnership. They value companionship. They value building with somebody. They value family. They value having a go-to. They value having in-house lovemaking and all that good stuff that comes with marriage. And then there's also people who, value being single. They look at it like, it's less of a headache. They feel like they're able to move around in a way that they want to. What I want to touch on as far as weaponizing is I find that a lot of married people weaponize singleness on single people. And I've been in my field for 17 years, and I find more married people who are participating in infidelity than single people who are even participating in sex. I have found there's more single celibate folks than there are married people who are not cheating and in infidelity. And so a lot of the weaponizing comes from, hey, look at me, I'm married, and look at you, you're not. And that becomes an issue because if a single woman comes out like I did on Paul Pierce's show and says, hey, look, I'm single, 42, having my way, and I don't want to maybe settle right now because having my way and being single has been very wealthy and a great experience for me. They looked at it like, oh, this woman is having these men who she's taking advantage of, she's spinning the block with, and she's not respecting the fact that they want commitment. Doc is just going, you do what I say, you do what I want, and I'm going to have it revolve around my world. Well, hey, it is my world, so who else's world would I have it revolve around? And if I'm being honest as a single woman and I'm saying to the men I'm in companionships with, I don't want commitment right now, and they're agreeing to participate in my world, then that is me being 42, having a freaking wealthy quality of life. And it doesn't make me feel less valuable because I hear, again, a lot of married people who are either in a deficit, they are experiencing infidelity, or they're trying to figure out how do they reshape their marriage so that they're not miserable. So again, I just wrap on a lot of married people I find weaponize singleness on single folks who I think deep down inside kind of envy that freedom and envy that space that a lot of single people actually have.
Church.
Yeah, and I also think that a lot of the times too, you have to understand your environment has a huge impact on the way that you think and the way that you feel and the way that you think that your life should be. So if you have an auntie or a mother or a father or a grandparent, especially as a woman that's saying, girl, why aren't you married yet? Or that's saying, when are you going to give me some grandbabies? Or there are so many different ways that we don't understand the pressure that it does put on to women. And so it's all, people don't even understand the slights that they're taking at people. Now, there's a beautiful opportunity to talk about masculinity, femininity, because also what I think is kind of beautiful, Dimitri, what you just said is there's a lot of, and before anybody says anything, I just have to give this disclaimer, okay? Masculinity and femininity are not genders, but it is true that what Dimitri just referred to are very feminine. It's a feminine energy for you to get the baby and put the baby to sleep. It's a feminine energy to be able to say, baby, come here, let me rub your feet. Right? It's very masculine for me to say, I'm going to go home and dominate inside of my world. So we have to understand that we're talking about two different things. And there's nothing wrong with either. But this is what I will say. For the ladies that people are using, weaponizing masculinity, if you're more of a masculine woman, what I would say is there's nothing wrong with being with a feminine man. Feminine does not mean bad. Feminine does not mean weak. Feminine does not mean unable to. Feminine means there's only space for one masculine energy in that relationship. And whoever is the most masculine should seek someone that's more feminine and vice versa. But I will say that a lot of us unmarried women are tired of being told we're incomplete without a partner. Even the TikTok relationship experts are telling us what we need to be doing to be chosen. Let's take a look.
Not every woman dreams of giving birth to some of your children. Some women have their own dreams, their own goals, and they don't include you. They don't include men. You are not the only way that a woman can be happy. Being connected to one of you does not give every woman's life meaning. She'd rather be single than feel she has to raise a grown man. She'd rather be single than have a man sit in her face and weaponize his incompetence. She'd rather be single than be a married single mom. These women are choosing themselves. It's not selfish when y'all do it, but when a woman does it, it's like, as if we were only born. We were only created just for you and your pleasure. A woman can't possibly have a fulfilling life without one of you in it.
Woo!
Yeah, I love that. I love that sentiment. I love the independence. I love the decentering of men in her life and the urging us to decenter men in our lives and saying, hey, I have things, goals, like things I want to achieve that have nothing to do with my ovaries. right? My uterus. Like, I have dreams that I want to accomplish. And I follow that sister on TikTok. She's an incredible creator. And I fully support this notion of like, go live your best life. Like, I can be part of it, but like, I want you to feel like I am flying with my partner's help rather than dragged down by the baby and my partner.
You know, I want to agree with this. I just don't. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. I just don't agree with this narrative. I think the central theme of me in my life is love, right? Regardless if it's family, if it's relationship, if it's children, XYZ, blah, blah, blah. They're the sole reasons I want to conquer. They're the sole reasons I want to do better in life. And I understand the idea of decentering them, right? A man should not be all you're focused on. You should be your primary focus first. But the thing about it is, you can't speak for the masses and say they want to be single. If they wanted to be single, they wouldn't be listening to these people on TikTok or whoever it is they listen to. I think a lot of times we push narratives on the people that we subscribe to, and we just speak it to the world. So like me personally, I feel like most of the things I'm doing right now currently in life are for my future child and my future wife. It's been that way for a very long time. I've been very prosperous because I want them to succeed and feel comfortable when they meet me. If I had no center or no goal or no priority, it wouldn't work. I'd just be living.
I think I understand what you're saying. And I think that the way that society pulls us, that the man is pulled into a higher self and a more mature self by family. And women quite often find themselves pulled out of their dreams by family. Their dreams are derailed by having a family. So this sister saying that she wants to continue to focus on her dreams while also having a family, to me, is uplifting. And it is different than what so many women encounter. There's so many women who are like, I wanted to be a writer, an actress, or whatever. I wanted to have a career. And then they had a family. And they're fulfilled by the family, but men are not finding that same life hurdle. I had a family and I had to change my dreams. So you're propelled by having a family. She's dragged. So I want to uplift her and hold space for her as she's saying, I want to be uplifted when also using my uterus.
But I think we need to hold space for both women. The woman who says, look, are all three women. The woman who says, I only want career and no kids. That woman is equally valuable as the woman who says, look, I don't want no career and I want to be an at-home professional mama. And then there's me, the woman who says, I know I can have both. And my goal was to first have a career so my kids are born into equity and I'm able to actually be a hands-on mama because I have financially secured myself enough to the point where in the event that my husband, hopefully not, we get married and he has a shortcoming, I'm still able to float us if he happens to have something happen in the season where he can't do it. I got his back and we're good over here. So those three women are all equally valuable in their own space, but we have to hold space for all of them and not weaponize one because she's an at-home mama, the other one because she's a career woman and she doesn't want kids. There's women who are thriving in all different lanes. And I think what's most important, and I'll land on this, is that individual, male or female, has a plan and they have a quality of life that they really feel healthy in and that they can thrive in, because happier people just make for better folks in any kind of relationship you can be in.
Dimitri, hold on, Sarah. Dimitri, the single women are often labeled leftover, lonely. The single men are free, focused, and waiting on the right time. Are we doing the right thing by giving the sort of shame to one group and praising the other group for the same thing?
Absolutely not. And I'd be going against myself completely if I sat here and said that's how we should view it. I'm a single man, and I choose this is the season I'm in, and I think that's the thing about it in the way we look at it. If more people viewed it as a season of development and learning for when that relationship comes along, you'll be better off. Okay, you're in that season, not you're in that turmoil, or you sitting in that because you don't want to be there. There's a lot of people who choose to be single because they got shit in their life. They need to get together before they reflect it on to somebody else. That's a season you have to go through in order to grow through. You gotta do the work. The thing about it is, I think most people look at it because they're looking at outside expectations. Okay, I'm viewing it because my mama want to see me married. And right now, if my mama viewed my singleness as a step to get married, I have to work on myself. If my mother viewed it as such, I wouldn't feel as bad. Right now, we got to alleviate the pressure from everybody else and say, I'm here for a reason. Because if I didn't go through my singleness, I never know what Mrs. Wiley's supposed to be like. And I just want to say this while I'm still here. The idea that picking the right person, Torre, you said woman gets in a family and then, it's downhill for her dreams. Picking the right man, it's not going to be. I don't care what happens. When she comes along, Mrs. Wiley said, I always wanted to be a painter. I'm buying every goddamn size canvas and we put it in the living room, baby. This is what you want to do. This is what we're going to do. But that's why selection is so important.
It's a little less about the man and more about the intense demand on the woman's time.
The right man is going to alleviate all of that unnecessary pressure. All the pressures of what society said is going to be gone.
The first 10 years of having children, the child is almost always physically attached to the mother. And no matter how great the father can be, she's going to do 60% of the work, no matter what. The man can't keep up because the child is so asking for the mother and driving toward the mother and the whole feeding thing, the man can't participate in that at all. So, I mean, she's going to, her body goes through a lot, her mind goes through a lot in pregnancy and having a young baby. That takes time to redevelop into the person she was. There's just a lot of social and physiological things that go along with becoming a mother. There's a chemical that you want to just be with the baby all the time, right? So that takes you out of the workforce. So there's all these ways that nature and society is preparing you to be a mother. And it's beautiful. And it's wonderful.
But I'm currently living the opposite. You cannot tell me there's kids who don't attach to their dads the exact same way they're attached to their mothers. And I've been to the doctors, I've been to the dentist, I've been to the schools. And we at the graduation, and they call me the dad and saying, thank you for being the most active parent in this school. So you can't tell me all of that effort is not complimenting Mrs. Wiley when she comes along with them kids. It's going to alleviate. But I think we got so used to saying the kid should be with the mom that we just letting it happen. No, baby, I'm gonna handle this kid. You ain't even a mother today. That's what I say when I ain't got my baby. I be like, I ain't a dad today. But you ain't gotta be a mother today. I got you. Let me take that off your plate. And the thing about it is, man, we fall so accustomed to the actual tropes of what society's led us to believe. There's dads who can't get it done by themselves. If that's so, allow the mother an opportunity to go out and do what she needs to do for herself. That's all I'm saying.
No, I get it, but the mom also has a power.
Really quick. I just have to say this really quick because I do feel like the same way where we had that episode where we talked about how women have children and it's most of the time it's circumstantial, it's not intentional. I feel like most women are single circumstantially and not intentionally. A lot of women say that they want to go build this career. Careers and dreams do not keep you warm at night. And so a lot of women are saying this out loud. They're saying, I said it. They're saying it out loud on these social media platforms. And then they're going home and they're feeling lonely. They're feeling rejected and they're feeling like they don't have what they need. And the truth of the matter is that we have to get really crystal clear about, are you single because you can't address your aggression? Are you single because you can't address your tone? Are you single because you can't address your own volume because you're not willing to do that work on yourself? Or are you, thank you, Dimitri, or are you single because you actually want to be? Because the truth of the matter is these women that are out here intentionally, and that's what we do. We find the exceptions to the rule and we say, we're like them. No, baby girl, you're not. You're mean. You're masculine. You talk about men like dogs. You're disrespectful to every man that you say. There's that new term that says, I don't even like men. The thought of men makes me sick. And you start regurgitating this rhetoric and now it becomes your truth. It is not the truth. These things are either circumstantial or they are intentional. And I'm here to tell you right now that if you want to go live your best life, you want to have fun, just make sure you freeze those eggs, homegirl, because one day, a lot of the time when you look back on your life and you're 45 or 50 and you're unable to have kids, you will probably regret it. That's all I'm saying. There's too many women out here that are trying to push a narrative that they don't even believe in. The truth is we are built and we are here to connect. We want a partner. And as much as I love what I do and I am great at what I do and I am very successful in what I do. And there is nothing like coming home to my man and being little baby angel muffin poodle love. Okay. That's what the real truth of it is. Yes. Little angel muffin.
Angel muffin poodle love.
Yes. Yes, little baby, hug me, hold me.
Angel muffin poodle love.
Because your dreams are never gonna hug you, hold you, kiss you, squeeze you. And a lot of these women are saying, oh, I just want a man that's going to be, there to support me. Then baby girl, you don't want a husband. You want a business partner. That is one that is way easier to find. Get yourself out of the rings. Stop distracting these men that actually want marriage and go be the boss that you've always wanted to be and allow these wives to be wives.
Hey everybody, Judge Lauren Lake here. Listen, I need you to head on over to YouTube weeknights at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Why? Because your favorite judge, I'm one of the new co-hosts of Truth Talks Season 2. And guess what? We're live every night at 8 p.m. Eastern time on YouTube, only at Truth Talks-Live. I'll see you there.
But let's flip this a little bit, Sarah, right?
Okay.
And maybe because you brought up this whole subject of weaponizing singleness, I think we understand the topic.
Yes.
How do we break the stigma of being single in the Black community? Because as we've said, the sisters especially are hearing messages from their community, from their family, perhaps from friends, perhaps from internally in their body saying like, you got to get married, you got to have a baby, got to get married, got to have a baby. Perhaps sometimes to their detriment. So how do we reclaim singleness as being something that's about being complete rather than something to be ashamed about? How do you make it about identity and self-worth rather than something you're trying to break out of?
Well, first and foremost, you have to be real with where you're at. Some women are so defensive, they're not even willing to accept the fact that, you know what, you're mean, you're ornery, you're disrespectful, you're masculine. You keep trying to control everything. Ladies, we don't control everything. In fact, true submission is surrender. We will never experience true trust without being a wife, and we will never experience true selflessness without being a mother. Because how? If you're going to give, and you have to understand, I believe in the masculine male dynamic with the feminine female dynamic. If that's not your dynamic, that's okay. This message is not for you. But for women that desire to be led in their relationships, baby, you got to let that man be a man. You have to be okay with not controlling. You have to understand that control doesn't exist. 90% of the things we have control over never happen, and the other 10% isn't up to us. So our best opportunity, like Dimitri said, is to take care of ourselves. How do you learn how to be more regulated inside of your emotions? How do you learn how to have a conversation with someone instead of just raising your voice or getting angry? And there's a difference between being passionate and being angrily mad at somebody, right? You've got to learn yourself. Take this season to work on yourself. I promise you, fix your RBF, okay? The resting bee face. Smile a little bit, let these men know.
I'm sorry, but hold on. The point, Dimitri, was about how do we reclaim singleness as something that is okay and not shameful. I feel like she's talking about how to get a man and blaming women for not having a man. I'm talking about how do you like being single? How do you enjoy and understand being single?
So you work on yourself. When you work on yourself, you will then attract the man that you want.
But you're still talking about getting the man. Because you're still talking about getting the man. We're talking about being single. Hold on.
Here we go.
Hold on, Dimitri, because she's still talking about getting the man, which goes back to women. Sarah, you just yes, you are. Which goes back to the stigma of society and a large group of women thinking that they have to spend their singleness or spend their life on getting the man to be valuable. Sorry. So to answer your question, Torre, that while you are single, how you create a thriving, wealthy quality of life while you're single is exactly what I do. To Sarah's point, do I do self-work? Yes. However, my plate is full of what? Full of travel, full of family, full of the word, full of the things that I love, full of getting to know who I am, and full of making sure that when I do meet a guy who I'm choosing to be with him, my plate is so full, I'm making room. So many people have a plate that's empty. They're choosing men to fill the empty space, which is choose from a place of despair. If you are spending your singleness trying to work on yourself to get this great man, you are still keeping a man your focal point. You're still placing your value on that man. Your singleness should be about self-discovery, about traveling the world, about reading books, about getting an education, about doing nothing at all if you don't want to, about communing with your girlfriends, communing with family. Self-discovery. Who are you? What do you like? Let me tell you why. I always say I never teach married people how to be married. That's why I don't really tell people what they should do and how they should get a man and how they should get a woman. All that stuff cannot be created until you meet the person you're with and you guys curate that together. What I do teach people is not how to be married, how to be happy within themselves, because happy people date better, they marry better, and they parent better. And so in your singleness, figure out, baby girl, baby boy, what makes you happy? Take inventory of that, play with this. So by the time you meet your partner, you're bringing a happy person to the collective of that relationship. And don't spend your singleness trying to figure out how you can better yourself to get a man, because women who attract men are going to attract men no matter what. You ain't got to do work to attract a man. You got to do your work on who you going to choose. That's all you got to do.
Right. So I love that. And I just want to chime in really quick, because essentially, Dr. B, you're saying what I said. Y'all are hearing me say, do this to attract a man. No, I'm not saying do this to attract a man. I'm saying when you do this, you do attract a better, more high quality, high value man. When you, no, Teray, let me finish. What I'm saying is when you take the time to identify what is it, like I said earlier, what do you want for your life? What do you like? What do you not like? What makes you tick? What doesn't? Do you have girlfriends? Like one of the things there, oh my, this is a whole class. Essentially what I'm saying is you've got to do the work so that you can deal with your emotions. You can deal with your feelings. You can deal with your thoughts without projecting. You can have a conversation without breaking someone down. You can just act normal without being critical or being defensive, whatever it may be. There are so many different things that happen inside of working on yourself that when you do that, of course, you're going to attract a high quality man. And then like Dr. B said, you get to choose whether you actually want that person or not.
You know,
and I want to say this,
me,
I think that
for me, if I could just real quick, if I can get in there to answer your question, Tori, we got to take the expectations off of the conversation. We got to take the stigmas surrounding what our mama want, what our grandma want for us, what the world says we need. Social media has led us to believe we need to be in a relationship and married by week 22, and then we travel in the world and XYZ. No, it's what you want. I think a lot of people forget that dating is practice. Dating is your practice to learning yourself. All right, this man did this. It didn't work for me. Okay, the next man will not be able to do this. Dating is when you set up your non-negotiables. It's when you set up your triggers for your red flags. It's when you put all those things in place and you practice that throughout dating. There's a man who's going to come along, and every box that you set forth, he's going to check every single one of those. But you have to put that up in practice. I hear all these women saying, I'm not dating, but I want to be married. Baby, you're not even on court. You can't get selected for the game if you're not on the court. So that's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is take the stigmas off and use your singleness as an opportunity to learn yourself. You be in a relationship.
I think relationship experts need to stop trying to tell people how to be in a relationship. You only will know how to be in it when you are with the person you're in it with, because that person is going to be different than whatever your expectations are. And you learn it through the experience of it. Words don't teach, experience does. I can tell Sarah how to do X, Y, and Z, and she may get with a whole different man that has nothing to do with what I taught her. It's about teaching her to be happy. And then you learn how to be peaceful and happy with the person you calibrate and the person you're with.
I just would hope that folks would be able to be single and be at peace with that and not see it as a way station to getting to another relationship, but just I am inherently present and happy being here at this station in my life right now. It's not a way station to get a relationship. It is a thing in and of itself that we are happy to have in our lives. But okay, fantastic episode. We're going to have Mimi Faust here all next week. So it's going to be kind of explosive. I can't wait to get into that with her. Woo! That's all we have for tonight. Thank you for all the super chats coming in. Thank you for all the comments dissing Sarah. You didn't have to go so hard. Here we are. Like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel at Truth Talks-Live. Support Black media at CashApp, Truth Talks Live, or on any of the links on your screen. Get your Truth Talks membership today. Click on the screen and choose from one of 3 different exciting tiers. Small businesses and influencers can partner with us by visiting truthtalkslive.com. Black media is still under attack. This show is being shadow banned, so help us out. Support our show by telling a friend to tell a friend to check out those arguing maniacs every night at 8 p.m. EST and 8 p.m. PST, where Cheyenne lives. Hope she stays there. We'll be back tomorrow night and every night at 8 p.m. We'll see you next week.
Let's see.
Team lovers, let's go. God damn it. There we go.
No more signs.
Right.
All right,
Bye, y'all.